Welcome back, everybody. We got the final run of the event. Potentially, I mean, we do have the bonus that has been met, so congratulations. Thanks to House again for donating another $100. He said, I want citrus flavored boss survival in the 4th entry of Metal Gear franchise, please, aka MGS2. So we will be seeing the boss survival run from D-Lines 13. But right now, we're about to see Euro GOID run, I believe it is, yeah, GOID, from D-Lines 13, and he has Joseph Joestar 316 and Mel's Glenn Solid on comms. Take it away, guys.
Appreciate it. Welcome in, everybody. As Theory said, we're going to be doing some GOID, which stands for Game Over if Discovered. We're playing on European Extreme, the highest and hardest difficulty in the game, going for Big Boss rank 1. Basically, perfect stats, no saves, no continues, no kills, no alerts, no rations used, that kind of fun stuff. But we're doing GOID because it's never been done in a GDQ, and yeah, I just might as well, I guess. So, all right, I am going to start the run, and then I'm going to let these dudes talk for a couple minutes while I get through the first few rooms because they can be a little tricky. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo, GOID!
All right, let's go. Game over if discovered.
But yeah, Limes was saying that the first few rooms alone are a little bit trickier on Game Over if discovered, because normally we would just, run into this first door that he's going to enter here on the left instead of on the right. Is very easy. And normally we would get seen by the guard that's in that room, but we can't do that. So we can't abuse how long it actually takes for alerts to actually trigger in this game, which is surprisingly generous. We actually have to wait here, wait for him to turn around, and then we can start doing our normal thing. Hold him up and just go.
Freeze.
Yeah, normally you would just, like Glenn was saying, normally you would just let the guy see you take a hit, and then just do like a quick double trank to quickly knock them out. And then likewise here, you're also gonna see D-Limes take out this guard instead of just, triggering out like a detection.
It's a lot safer to just shoot him in the head.
Freeze.
And I think, funny enough, that one right there doesn't really change.
No,
At least with that guy.
Yeah, Deck B and Deck C are the same. Deck D can get a little bit tricky up here because I have to take out this first guard when I get in this room, and then I have to wait for Snake to sneeze as a bit of a buffer, because if I enter the next room too fast, then the guard will just be facing me. Sneeze, go, have a nice day.
Bless you, Snake.
Easy peasy. Yeah, the route doesn't change too terribly much, but some of these rooms are a little bit more tricky because we can't abuse the alerts. But that's okay.
Yeah, so with Olga, it's a 50-50 of what kind of a start you're gonna get, so to speak. So you either get a left side spawn or a right side spawn. On European Extreme, you want a left side with the possibility of getting an Olga loop, which is what you're seeing right now.
Done.
And that is Olga.
That was decent. That was a decent fight, ideal fight. Most of the boss fights on European Extreme can one-shot kill you. You get shot by Olga in the toe and you just die even at full health. So gotta be very careful, especially early on, but that was a very, very clean fight.
Seems a little unfair that her USP is an insta-kill until you get it.
Right.
What the heck?
I mean, I don't think we're good enough to use it as well as she does. I have no
Homie has a
idea
point.
of it.
We might not be. Homie's got a point.
Alright, this room's a little tricky. I'm gonna trank this guard and then just run by him like that.
Clean.
Normally we use the USP to do like a distraction shot, but we can't do that here. And then I'm gonna shoot the wall at a certain angle here to distract this guard. Hold him up and then just run by.
Freeze.
Then this room's gonna be a little safer as well. I gotta take out both guards. Wait for this dude to turn around. Take him out, and on we go.
Yeah, that second guard's pattern in this room is just kind of wonky on your way back, so It's short, it's quick. You don't want him to see you. Raven.
I mean, it sort of looked like Raven.
I actually have that figure.
Oh, do you?
I actually do have a Vulcan Raven figure.
So that's a little different from the traditional runs. We're just going to trank roll into that guard. And then the guard upcoming is going to notice. I'm going to hold him up. And then I'm going to turn around, just trank him real quick. So he'll call in the caution. I wait here, and then I get to skip cutscene. Because otherwise there's a guard that comes out of the door behind me where I was standing, and we have to wait for him to repair the door. Otherwise he would hear all my USP shots. So get the caution saves like, I don't know, 7-8 seconds.
Yeah, because normally in cases where, you know, you try to fire off a round, I mean, you don't get the call in from the radio. I mean, like, they hear it. I mean, that's an instant game over. So it is interesting how changing the condition can just alter things, even just in the slightest.
Little slight misfire there. Then when I get to the end of the hallway, I'm going to do a punch kick buffer to wait for this guard to run past. And then we're just going to get to the door. Run by this sleepy dude. Sleep sounds
That guard's
right
my favorite in the tanker. You know, it's just Pepe jamming along to some tunes he's playing.
Yeah, I would love sleep right now. I have to be up at 5:30 tomorrow morning, and that's not fun.
Same.
All right, guard rush. I'll have you guys explain this.
All right, so Sea Limes is just gonna lead off with a USP shot to stop the guard from moving over. It's not gonna kill him. And then he's just gonna take turns tranking the remaining ones that come in from the right, including the guy that sometimes tends to go in the back. But you can stop him from going to the back if you trank it fast enough. And then he's gonna shoot the last 3 in the head. Boom, boom, and boom. And you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. Perfect stats. I just saw you kill 3 guards. Well, they died not in a way that it would actually count it because the encounter ends fast before their deaths are tallied. So you got away with murder.
That was actually a pretty good fight too.
Yeah, that was
Nobody's
very
hands
good.
got in your way, so
Yep.
that's ideal.
Very nice flick shot by the camera projector.
Yeah, a little shaky on the movement. I thought I was in a little bit of trouble because I was losing my grip on my controller.
Yeah, I was like, it's a little far north. Okay, but no, this is pretty much the same. Just easy peasy.
Yeah, the holds are on game over if discovered anyway, so nothing changes from a traditional run with all the holds, thankfully.
Here we go, 2-spot.
So one of those was the Marines photo. It was in clear high definition.
4K. It's a good camera.
8K,
2009. 8K in 2009. Whew.
8K, yep.
Otacon Smarticle Particle.
I was about to say, I definitely saw the Marines logo. I don't care what anybody says.
It's right there.
And that's
See?
Tanker.
It's so good, it even has turbo enabled on the pictures.
I know. This one, you want to explain what turbo actually does? I don't think that's been touched on yet.
Go ahead, Glenn.
So it was decided amongst the community to allow turbo in this game, and it actually doesn't really give you that much of a competitive advantage, but it will save a couple of seconds here and there over cutscenes or codecs or whatever, and it makes mashing just overall easier. And for me, I love it because I don't have to worry about my wrist cramping up or whatever during the torture on Solidus. So
Yeah, Solidus torture on this difficulty is mashing for your life for 50 seconds, and I think maybe that was like the primary motivation for like discussing turbo, which then was later found that you could just skip through prompts like what you're seeing now faster. You can go through the codecs faster because it's just basically mashing every line faster than what the game normally would do by just double tapping on, you know, triangle or Y if you're on the Xbox controller. And you can just see that he's doing it right now throughout the codec lines.
Yeah, it just allows for you to be able to skip the text basically on frame 1, which does save some time, but Turbo is basically to save our rest, especially when it comes to European Extreme Torture. It's 50 seconds. Like, it is just unnecessary mashing for no reason at all.
Like,
And as I get older, I want to save my wrists.
I'm under enemy fire. Secure the perimeter.
I'd call you the old man, but
No, I'm definitely not in this community.
nope. There are other runners of this game older than Limes here, and
I mean, Joe is older than me, believe it or not. I'm 30.
I still
Joe
don't.
is, yeah, Joe is. I don't get that.
30.
He's got to be like 12.
Joe?
Yep, 32.
That's
You can
mad.
believe it.
And then I don't know how old Jag is, for example, but I know he's older than both of you.
I think he's
And
36. Whoop.
I think he's mid 30s as well, but he has trouble with the European Extreme mashing.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
to his credit, he still doesn't use Turbo.
no, he does. He does for
Oh,
Turbo.
does he on PC now?
That's it. Yeah,
That's it.
That's
That's
literally
fine.
the only reason why he runs PC, because otherwise he
Because
couldn't
we allowed
run
Turbo,
PC.
right?
Yeah. So
Well, because they nerfed it on HD collection for Solidus Torture to like
Right, I
10,
remember
15
now.
seconds.
Yeah,
and
it's-
PC was like the unique thing about running this on PC is like there are no loads into your timer. It's all IGT, which is really nice in terms of competitiveness and just convenience. But the downside is, yeah, you have the quirky, I guess, control scheme if you don't have VSFix on, which you should. But the other thing too, primarily was, yeah, you have to deal with the 50-second torture timer with Solidus. But for now, it's
Really?
just, yeah, really.
Yeah, really, come on,
Um,
man.
no, I went to answer the codec too early, like by 1 frame. Just irritating.
It's fine. Smile.
But yeah. Anyways, from now until coming up at Strutsy, it's just a race to meet up with Stillman and some guy that looks, sounds, and moves like Solid Snake, but it's definitely not Snake, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe
No,
he's like.
he's the guy who does all the cool animated graphics for MGSR Iroquois Pliskin. Right?
Which that is a true fact. I mean,
That is a true fact. He does do all our animated stuff. And Dash does most of the standstill art, the thumbnails, and the like, which they've been kind of cooperating as of late, and it's been very nice.
All right, so I got to be careful this guard here. I'll hold him up, then leave.
Freeze.
We're gonna defuse that bomb later. So we're gonna go around all the struts, defusing various bombs in the struts. There's usually 1 per strut, except for a couple of rooms. You get a couple more bombs we have to defuse. We're just gonna be taking it out with our coolant spray, just freezing them. Just a temporary freezing measure.
Because it totally matters for the plot.
Yes. And then this room is a little weird and tricky because I have to wait for this guard to turn. And I can't really hold him up and then cartwheel past him because there's a chance he could spot me. So I just do that. That's just safer.
Safer, a lot more consistent. Yeah, why not?
Then I get up before the caution happens and everything is a-okay. So I'm gonna go up to the roof here, defuse another bomb. Just gonna wait for this guard to like just walk a few steps to the right. I could take him out, but I really don't feel like it. It's not worth it.
We'll eat a couple seconds for our entertainment value.
Freeze.
All right, those shafts, those are gonna be very important for later. And then we're gonna try to give this dude a little love tap there. There we go.
Right between L3 and L4. Well done.
Yep.
So incredibly painful that he passes out. Trust me, I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, what you're seeing happen here when D-Limes is equipping and unequipping the coolant while also standing up and also, going back down is what we call coolant rise. It's an animation cancel of trying to like going from laying to standing. It just saves you, I don't know, it's like fractions of a second each time, but it does add up, especially in a room like that where it's very critical to, you know, get in, defuse the bomb before the other guard starts to get up from being knocked out.
So this room changes quite a bit from a traditional non-GOID run. So we're going to cool with this guard, grab the M9, and then basically just take everybody out.
But on the bright side, we have our M9 now.
I'm under attack.
Raise the M9.
Do you imagine doing
Oh
this
my
from
god.
damage? Oh man.
Monk S.
Just a little. He's a semi-professional though, so I think he'll be
Should
okay.
be fine. Should be fine. I don't think the guards up top will notice me. Okay. All right, little slow, little scary there, but that worked. Get up.
Come on, Raiden, you lazy son of a gun. There we go.
All right, so there are ciphers and claymore mines on this bridge, so I am going to throw a chaff grenade, that way the ciphers don't see me. Answer a couple codec calls here, which have to do with the story, but I'm not explaining the story.
There's a story?
Yeah, go figure, right?
I've only played this game for like an hour at a time.
I've never played this game. This is my first playthrough.
Oh, seem to be doing very well than when I first played the game the first time. I don't think I even made it here in the first hour. I don't think I even made it off the tanker.
Maybe I'm just naturally gifted. I don't know. But anyway, this room is just on a timer, so we can kind of go slow here and just collect a couple items, take out all the cameras, take out all the guards. We have to wait for the bomb on the conveyor belt to come out anyway. So, stock up on supplies.
Yeah, so funny thing about the coolant, just like what you saw in Strade in the pump room, is the coolant spray could still defuse the bomb, even though it's kind of like going through part of another object, or in this case, like right through that, you know, that crate.
Kind of like how the little crotch punch works, where you hit him in the back and he just goes down. Similar property. Just what's a hitbox?
So same thing, it's just gonna coolant rise as soon as you defuse the bomb. It's very time sensitive on the Strutty helipad. You barely get enough time to get in, defuse the bomb, and leave. It's in runs that I've done, it's usually where some mistakes will happen for me is like messing up the movement, like laying down in front of the Harrier. Any little thing would do it.
Yeah, with this game, there's not a ton of, you know, insane breaking glitches, so you really do have to, you know, scrutinize your every movement if you want ideal situations, and especially in GOID where you need to be a little more careful.
Yeah, it definitely adds another layer of a challenge, I guess, and layer of stress when you're running GOID, just because if you get spotted, okay, then you have some time if you get spotted before the alert actually gets called in to take out a guard, to do a backup or whatever. On GOID, you don't. That's it. Bye-bye. You're done. So...
Going for big
like
boss?
no
Well, thank
margin
you
for error.
playing.
Yeah. Nice shot. So there are 3 bombs in this room we have to take out before all these guards wake up. Grab
And
this
they
ammo
wake
for
up
later.
so fast on Euro, it's not even funny, so you really do have to go quickly. Thankfully, 2 of the bombs are, you know, top to bottom of each other, so you don't have to go too far, but...
So we're playing on New Game Plus. You can play on New Game Plus or Plus Plus. If you play on Plus Plus, then this bomb layout changes in this room. You basically have 1 bomb at each of the doors at the bottom, and then another bomb right there instead of the 2 that are like right next to each other. I think that is harder to do, so that's why I play on New Game Plus instead. But it's more or less just preference at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like how it puts 2 of the bombs closer together, but yeah, it also provides just the benefit of not watching the, I don't know how long it is, like 2.5 minutes with the Stillman cutscene. It's like, here's how to defuse the bomb, here's how to use the sensor.
I thought it was like 8 minutes.
It's not 20.
You know, I thought it might have been mentioned somewhere that it was 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it's like adding in loads or something.
Wait,
I
it's
don't think
not-
anybody knows, honestly.
I think there's a whole YouTube video proving that it's 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Very subtle.
But yeah, that was the last bomb, which is now going to trigger the final bomb at the bottom of strut A.
Anywho.
More chaff grenades, because those are powerful. So now we're going to head back to the docks where we started the plant section and take out the first mega bomb.
You only get 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get over there. You think that it might be a little more stressful than it is.
Right? Hey man, that's not a lot of time. I might not make it.
Mm.
And if I don't make it, or get spotted for some reason, I have to restart the entire section over again. So I go back to the beginning of the time section. I don't just restart in the room I failed in. So it could be a massive time loss if I were to fail right now.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if you don't fail, it saves frames. I forget you timed it a while back.
What's that?
Starting the timer in Strut C versus the CB bridge. It's not much difference. It's
I
like
don't remember,
frames.
no.
Oh, like where you change the order, like you pick up the
Yeah.
sensor second instead of picking it up first.
That only applies to lower difficulties, but it's about 3/4 of a second. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Oh, okay. So I'm remembering correctly, just not for this difficulty.
No. Yeah. And bomb is right here for our convenience. Bada
I
bing,
still
bada boom.
love how on the harder difficulty, it's in the easiest spot.
Yeah, on the lower difficulties, it's underneath the submarine by the water, so it's a lot farther away, and it's in a little more of a weird spot.
And then there's hard, lol.
Yeah, that's even in a weirder spot, but... So we're going to come up to a boss fight here, quote-unquote. This is called Fortune. We're going to hide in our box. And we're just going to run around while she destroys everything.
Yeah, the box is not just for being flashy, which it absolutely is, but Fortune's targeting will trail behind, and since we're lowering our profile by having the box equipped, and as long as you keep moving, the shots will just trail behind you. While also avoiding the explosive barrels, they will kill you instantly. The railgun, as scary as it is, you can get away with one hit, but that's a hit you never want to take on any given run, but praise the box.
Really good thing too, at least nowadays, is since runs are done pretty much on PC or Xbox, there's little to no lag.
Yeah, this fight on, say, PS2 or, like, original Xbox is just a lag fest. Like, you're talking 10, 15 FPS. It's so bad.
Isn't that where the alternate, like, peaking for this would come into effect is because of that lag?
Yeah, because you're not
It
looking
would,
at
yeah,
the
'cause
higher
there's
grade
an
or
alternate-
whatnot.
Yeah, there's an alternate strategy you can do where you just do pop-out shots, and as you're doing the pop-out shot, you have iframes, and it looks cool to do. It is a little bit harder to execute, but on lag consoles like PS2 and stuff like that, you definitely want to do that strat. I went in the
not look
box
good,
there
but-
to avoid some claymore mines, so now I'm going to wait here till the timer says like 190, and then go. Because that guard was facing my direction. I was just waiting for him to go. And I didn't want to lean him against the wall either, because there's a chance I could just flat out miss the wall. So I'm not good at movement in this game, clearly.
Yeah, that wall's tiny and pain in the butt.
Yeah, let's just crawl. That's fine.
That's just an example of your poor movement, as you've said. Anywho, Hector strut F, basically the same thing as before, except we're not going down this time. No need to, just run across and leave.
Yeah, and it also differs from what would normally be just letting a guard see you, maybe go into box to cancel out the attack, and maybe do a couple of quick tranks and running past, the other guard at the exit. And then again, he's using the box here to lower himself enough so that the Cypher that turns over won't see him.
I'm gonna wait for this guard to come down. And then just hold him up and run by him.
I
Alright.
actually like that better than what would normally be the trick shot with the Solcom and Trank and rolling up or cartwheeling up into him.
Yeah, that can be tricky, but it does. Doing that, you have to wait a few seconds, but you have to on GOID. So, anyway, Fat Man coming up. One of you can explain this wonderful fight that I hate. Oh, give me those stun grenades.
I think you got him.
I
But,
did.
anyway, Fat Man, he places 2 bombs in the same area consistently at the start of the fight, so we're going to go get the lower on the left, shoot him in the ankle, and then we're just going to go for a trank headshot before the stars on his head pop up, which is important. That way you can get yourself an extra shot in, defuse the bomb, shoot him again, he'll stand up and do his little dance here. And rinse, wash, repeat, and we're just going to try and follow him around the stage. We really don't want him to place any more bombs, because those are random. We don't like that. And then if he starts the timer again, you have to defuse the bomb, whether you eliminated his health bars or not. Those bombs would have to be defused or you get a game over, which is lovely. Anywho, he takes a few shots to go down. I think it's 6 on Euro.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6.
Mine's doing pretty good here on getting those headshots in.
I think he needs one more.
That was a decent fight for sure. That was
not
I'm
bad.
pretty happy with that. And if I can get out of turbo, that would be great. I'm just gonna move him farther out of the way. I'm way out of whack with this. I normally don't move him that much. Okay, there we go. And that is the final bomb we're gonna defuse. There are no more bombs. No more bombs.
I was gonna say one thing about the bombs, but I guess we'll just put it to rest.
We got time.
Or rather, what I was gonna say is what Glenn was saying when Fat Man does his little dance. I often refer to it as the Fat Man Shuffle, where he's just kind of taunting you and just going back and forth on his blades.
Yeah.
It's a fun fight.
That's
Not
one of
when he
those weird
plants five
things he
bombs.
does,
then-
and I don't know why that's kept in on Euro, but I'm not complaining.
Well, I mean, Fat Man can be a fun fight, but not when he plants like 4 more bombs. Then you're raging.
It's still
No.
my favorite fight because of how unique it is.
That is definitely not my favorite fight. My favorite fight will be late in this game.
Vamp. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's Vamp 2, right? No.
I mean, Vamp 2 in this is fun.
It can
Okay.
be, yeah.
Maybe
It's
it really
different.
means the Tengus. I'm gonna get it. I'm not just pretending not to get it to build suspense or anything.
What? Why'd you go there for? What the heck? What was that?
Right, what's
Oh,
wrong?
Rip Big Boss.
Right,
Big Boss is overrated anyway.
Yeah. So
I hate this strat with a passion.
There he goes.
There we go.
That was weird.
I must have just shot something else instead, like not the wall or like the crate or something, and then he just went running. So I really don't know what happened.
Nothing here.
And that's why we have the clip function.
Yeah, so the whole idea was the punch buffer or punch kick buffer was to allow a guard to turn before he goes down the stairs to get into the room that has the AKS 74U, which you can either do the distract shot, which in this case he has to because of GOID, or you could do like a slightly slower but a little more consistent where you just let him spot you, equip the bot, either trank him or take out his radio. But yeah, that I could definitely feel the frustration with that one.
Yeah, I'll just have to take my time next time when I'm actually on the big stage. Just take another half second, make sure I shoot the top.
I'm looking at it, and I don't see anything noticeably different.
Yeah, I'll have to review the
They look
tape
about
later.
the same,
I mean,
yeah.
Very strange. Hashtag MGS2 things is what we say.
Basically.
So that's where MGS4 things got it from. Explaining the unexplainable.
All right, now comes the RNG fest of where is Ames?
Southeast. I mean, northeast is closer, but it's very scary, my experience. But I'm gonna say southeast. What do you say, Glenn?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, southeast.
So on New Game Plus or above, Ames is in a random position in this room. There's about 20 or so different spawns. He can spawn right here at the start. He can be all the way on the other side of the room, so it really just depends. We're
Are
basically
we
just
right?
looking for the mullet guy.
Dang.
No.
Reporting no problems in the hall on B1 in the Shell 1 core.
Alright, so that's a little bit of a safety buffer. If I go into first-person view and then quickly change to the directional microphone, the guards still think I have the AK on, and then they won't actually spot me. Because if I have nothing, if I don't have my full uniform on, which is the BDU and the AK, then they'll just spot me and it's an instant game over.
Funny enough, because that's the same thing no matter what condition you're on, just kind of like the tanker holds, but
Correct,
it
yep.
is very scary. But hey, who knows? I mean, maybe the other guards just do that, and they're just used to that kind of thing. Not suspicious at all.
This is gonna be another one of those rooms where it's a little bit different.
I just have to wait.
Did it freeze?
Yes. Limes? Limes?
Times.
For that guard.
Okay, I think we're catching up.
I think his internet crapped out on him. Well, I see a pause menu.
Pause the timer. I think we're having a little bit of a technical
Yep.
difficulties here. Hopefully we can get Limes back. His feed has frozen for me.
I love Spectrum. I mean, what? Limes, have you undied?
I don't know, have I?
I hear him.
Oh, I
Okay.
see it caught up now on mine on Discord.
Yeah, it's catching up.
It's it's at 0. I'm in the red in OBS.
Lovely.
Yeah, the stream is actually dead.
Yeah, you're still at the elevator in the basement. So
I mean, I paused your timer. Hopefully you've paused your end.
Yeah, I'm paused. I took another continue. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I guess just go to
Yeah.
intermission.
We'll be right back then. Sorry about this. We'll get this fixed. And sorted.
Freeze! Huh? Oh.
If he doesn't know you exist, then I guess he's not much of a problem. At least we're getting out of Shell 1 finally.
Yeah, so from here on, there's not a whole lot that changes in a GOID versus a not GOID run, except for maybe 2 rooms later. It turns into more of a traditional run, which is what I prefer. So we're just making our way to the Shell 1-2 connecting bridge, where we'll be taking out some Semtech sensors, like we saw on the tanker, and then eventually fighting the Harrier. Small change in this room, I just need to take out this guard instead of letting him spot me. And then here we go, on to some exciting stuff.
Are we going to see the Joseph Joestar special?
No.
I didn't want to say anything. I wasn't gonna say it.
I'll take the blame.
There are 14 total sensors I have to take out. And if I shoot the ciphers, then the bridge just blows up. But we're good, we got both of those, no problem. And 3 more to take out with the SOCOM. 1, 2, and 3. And the Harrier. I'm not explaining this one.
All right,
Joe, you got this.
All right, yeah. So since we didn't get the the Joestar special apparently, so with the Harrier, you want to pick up the Stinger on the bridge while aiming at it as it's flying over to get at least 4 to 5 hits on it. And then when it jets away, you can't target it until it starts to turn around to do an attack strafe, which you see right now. So he's gonna go onto stairs to take cover while he gets another few shots off. And when the Harrier reaches like 50%, give or take, he's gonna go to what we call the die shots, where he's gonna carpet bomb the bridge. If you time the cancel of the cutscene just right, you get a lock on like above screen, followed by a secondary, which I think he got both of those. And then next he's gonna do the missile lock, and Otacon is doing the thing that we all don't want him to do, which is trying to get in the way. It's RNG. We love his support, but sometimes he just gets in the way. And what he just did there is a delayed overhead shot when he's flying over the bridge. You can get another hit in. Then at the very end, he's going to do the missile barrage, which he's going to get a couple hits in. And this is the peeking iframe method that I mentioned earlier during Fortune, but we do this for the Harriers so the missiles won't kill us. And then he just gets another 2 hits in, and nicely done.
Not bad.
Decent fight, for sure. I'll take that any day of the week.
And your bosses have been pretty clean so far.
Yeah. Yeah, one continued due to something I've never seen before in this game, and one continued due to the RTMP, so not too bad.
That's why we have tape, it's fine.
Yeah, and then a couple of those, but that's fine. Like, stairs are
Yes.
overrated anyway.
Stairs
You
are overrated.
survived
There's nobody to see you in this room. It's fine.
You survived the leap of faith. That's all that matters.
Oh, I wish I knew it was coming. I would have done the eagle sound effect from Assassin's Creed.
This is not a pretty sight.
There's
So
nothing
this
stopping
room-
you from doing it anyway.
Hurry up.
I mean,
Situation.
headphone
gonna
warning, I guess, but
I
no.
was gonna say, this room, you've really got to be on the move, because these guards will see you if you don't get to the ladder very, very quickly. And we equipped a BDU to give us a little bit of camouflage as well. Otherwise,
I thought it was MGS3 thing. No.
no. The fake game made its way to here. MGS3 is a fake game anyway.
I don't know, man. That sounds like fighting words to some people, especially one guy I know.
I'm going to go in my pants.
Oh, that guard wasn't prepared for today. Should have gone before the stream.
That's fine.
So he unequipped the BDU at this point since it's no longer required, and there's a weird thing about the BDU when it comes to certain cutscenes. It actually lags the game a bit just because of the rendering of the BDU versus Raiden's skull sneaking suit. I don't know why, but it's more noticeable on console, especially like laggier consoles than on PC, but it does make a difference just to have it unequipped.
Yeah, if you go in the room where Ames is, or this room, for example, even on PC where the loads are just insanely fast and for the most part don't count, you'll lose about a second or so in each room if you enter with the BDU on. On console, say like PS3, for example, you're gonna lose like 10 seconds plus. It's ridiculous how much it just slows down because it has to render that BDU. It's very strange.
Have it on the highest authority from Plywood that MGS3 is a fake game and is resub to the stream.
There you go.
Wow.
I'm not crazy.
Well, you're crazy, just apparently not about that.
True. These wonderful mines in the water, one-hit kill. Don't want to touch them. They look fun to touch, but I shouldn't touch them.
But I like water balloons.
Right?
I dislike the mines. It was probably one of the first things besides a tanker, that I just really started to hate over time in running the game. Especially when you swap difficulties and you're not like ready for like a different mine pattern, you just swim right into one that wasn't there before. Oh, fun times.
So I shot that stinger in the air for RNG manipulation. Smile. Not really.
Oh,
Wait,
you actually had my hopes up. I actually thought that was some kind of new tech that I never knew about.
Lime's trying to claim the bounty in this game with RNG manipulation.
Hey man, that $2,000 or whatever it's up to sounds very juicy right now. I just got married, so funds are useful right now.
He did tell me the bill he paid, can confirm.
A lot. Let's just say a lot.
It was a lot. And we were talking about it, we still determined that it was considered El Cheapo based on, quote, known averages.
Weddings are fun, weddings are expensive, so would not recommend doing again. I'm not getting married a second time in my lifetime.
I would certainly hope not.
No. And to Theory, who is here hosting, like, go eat some spam. I'm not a cash king.
He hasn't sold out on the store yet.
Not yet.
I took these.
Not gonna lie, if somebody like offered me like $2 million for the store or something, I'd probably just run and take it.
Well, yeah, because
just-
then your bank
and-
account looks like a phone number. You're good.
Right, and then I'll just come home and play Metal Gear all day, or Gran Turismo, one of the two.
As opposed to what you do now? There's just work involved.
I can only play it in the evening. Then I would play it all day. So I mean, what's wrong with that?
Maybe Limes will put on a little weight. He's built like me. And we
I'm
super
already
skinny
putting on a
boys.
lot of weight, man. All right.
You do.
Anyway, back to
Anywho,
back to the run.
back to swimming.
So we're gonna do something called swim glitch. Somebody want to explain this as we do that and transition into Vamp?
I guess I'll take a crack at it, Glenless, if you want to.
I can't even do it, so I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So what Limes is going to do is he's going to match the ceiling height while swimming on an angle of that wall right there. And when you do this right, you can see he's swimming in the air out of bounds, and they didn't patch a real ceiling there, so you could just swim right through and just swim to the other side of what would be the loading zone for going into the Vamp fight. Which the faster you get it, the more time you save up front. You do lose time on the back end just due to the fact that there's a hatch that is closed now because we just skipped it. But I think he got it in 2 cycles, which is fairly decent. 1 cycle is the best, 2 cycle is decent, 3 is about average, and anything beyond that is just losing time.
It kind of reminds me of how when I ran Sonic Adventure 2, basically we were like, well, walls are a suggestion, and kind of came to the conclusion where if the devs didn't think you could get to a wall, it doesn't have any sort of solid mass or anything, you can just walk right through it. And it seems to apply to the ceiling there as well.
Yeah, and the thing with Vamp is when you're close to him like this, you can manipulate his attack AI where he'll just attempt to knife just by being close to him. It is a one-shot kill on European Extreme, so you don't want to get hit by the knife. He took it very safe with like 6 to 7 punches per cycle, as I would call it. If you're really crazy like BMN, who'll go for like 10 plus hits or more, I tend to go fairly crazy, but usually up to 9. There's even like a really insane but fast setup with a coolant spray, coolant rise into punching, but nicely done.
Yeah, that fight always drives me nuts. I take that 6, 7 punches at the most. I am very, very cautious when it comes to the non-lethal version of that fight.
Yeah,
Just
same.
because of that one-hit kill.
I've died to that way too many times to even bother trying to go for like 7, 8. So I'll cap at 6 and loop them.
And then also that body armor that he picked up there is going to be for the end game. I believe Tyler is probably one of the only few that runs without it just naturally. I think it saves you like, what, like 6 to 8 seconds from having to get it.
He's the only one that comes to mind, yeah.
Yeah, that is very useful for endgame and the Tengu skip, which we'll explain later and whatnot. But yeah, I want as much wiggle room as I can for endgame, and that body armor will help tremendously. I don't need to save the 7 seconds that bad.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's unique about this category on European Extreme is while there are some like minor things that can be done to save time up front, it's the risk factor of, you know, how well do you trust your end game with the Tengus and Rays, and I know Rays is like a third home for you, T-Limes, but there's also like Tengu 1, Tengu 2, which is where a lot of my runs tend to die for Big Boss. Just from like having the slightest mistake happen with stuns or some other thing.
Those kind of thing, the stun grenade or any grenade mechanics, it's a lot easier on PC/PS2 since they actually explode quicker. The timer starts when you start cooking them versus when you release them, like on HD Collection, and they don't take 65 years to explode. So that's one big reason for Euro runs. I prefer this version over, say, HD Collection, because it can just screw you over so much at endgame with how long they take to explode.
And that applies to chaps as well, as I found out the hard way. You know, because like it'll just mess up the timing. And oh yeah, Emma not only has a fear of swimming, but she has a fear of bugs. But we ain't got time for either one, so we're just gonna drag her through. Her fear of bugs.
Get on this elevator and you're gonna like it.
Alright, so in this room, I'm going to take a particular line. That way the guards don't see me. This room really doesn't change on GOID. Just take the same line and just take out the last 3 guards. These first 2, and then there'll be one coming out of the elevator we just don't deal with. As long as we have fair enough movement, then we don't need to bother with them.
And we barely even acknowledge them. Who are they again?
No idea.
Yeah.
Wait, now here's a big head scratcher is, you know, Raiden and Emma came from B1 of the Shell 2, right? Real question is, where did that guard come from?
Yeah, it's very, very strange.
Hidden maintenance floor.
Floor in between floors, maybe?
Yeah, kind of like how some hotels' maintenance floors are like 3s. I remember, I think it was one of the GDQ hotels. People were like, why isn't there a floor 3? I think it was a 3. It's like, maintenance. Where does maintenance keep all their stuff? On that floor.
And then there's the whole no floor 13 on a lot of hotels too, which sad face for obvious reasons.
Yeah, what you just saw D-Limes do with Emma when he pushed her through the door is what we call the Emma bump. It allows you to push her through, and then it'll kind of move her forward in the next room just slightly ahead. On PC, it's 99.9% free. On console, especially HD collection, don't do it. I dared with it way too many times. I know D-Limes probably was like, man, you're gonna get burned, and sure enough, yeah, it the reason why you don't do it on HD collection is there's a chance that you can have Emma fall through the floor, fall into the ocean, and guess what? Your game is slava because you can't get her key and you can't open this door they just went through. So PC, have at it. HD collection, don't do it.
Fine, it's fine.
Like, I'm really careful when I shoot these guards because I could shoot them in the head and it'll register as a neck shot sometimes. Like, their neck hitbox is just big. And if I hit the neck, they're going to turn around and that's a game over, so...
Which is weird, because they don't look like they have necks.
You know, I noticed that more when you shoot him in the back of the head is where I'll get that.
Yeah.
It's really silly.
Yeah, front of the head's whatever. Back of the head, no. Anyway, this is the sniping section. I need to know if I'm killing the birds or not.
I don't think anyone put any donations in for it. It was just boss survival.
Well, there's still time.
You're
Only wants to throw in a cheeky 100 or whatever.
Also, shoutouts to the classic red thermal goggles. Which, fun fact on PC, if you set the, I think is it model textures?
Yeah, model quality,
low.
set it to low, yep.
Yeah, if you set it to low, in V's fix of MGS2, it'll revert to what was PS2, Sons of Liberty red thermals. If you set it to anything other than low, then it'll change it to the like bluish thermals, which I don't know, from what I've asked people, it seems like there's a heavy favor to red thermals. I don't mind either one, but I can definitely see why people hate the blue thermals.
It's so bright.
Yeah, they're just way too bright. I don't like them.
And not to mention your standard monitor puts out enough blue light as it is. Why amplify it, Smile? I mean, what?
I don't know, I was just gonna say maybe it just enhances the immersion of all the blue light in addition to the blue light coming from the TV monitor.
I'm just gonna blame MGS2 for why I have to wear blue filter like glasses when I sit here now.
So one of the benefits from Turbo, other than what we talked about with codecs and cutscene skips and cancels, is it changes the sniping a lot. It goes from semi-auto to, hey, look, I got fully automatic now, which is more or less the game pressing your fire button faster than you could possibly do it. Just insane speed.
Where are my ciphers? Come on.
Cipher patterns are weird.
Yeah, so if you do this section lethally and kill all the guards, you get about double the amount of ciphers that spawn in. Since the guards are actually staying asleep, then the game doesn't load too many models on the screen. So we have to take out 8 ciphers instead of, say, like 16 if we kill the guards.
Huh. That one I didn't know.
I think I noticed that more when playing it on VE, when you just kill everything, is then the ciphers just start showing up immediately.
Ta-da.
There was one question in the chat, if GOID applies to Emma.
I don't think so. I am not 100% sure. I haven't run enough GOID to where I've run into that issue. I don't usually let the guards spot Emma anyway, but like I truly do not know.
I would think in this section it wouldn't matter, because it's not like a typical alert, but
Platonic
in a case
says it doesn't matter here for sniping.
Yeah, like I would say outside of this, like maybe not when Emma is seen, but like if you were seen, I don't know. Which I'm just taking a guess at that too. That's actually an interesting question from Speedy.
Well, this isn't the time to test it, especially this late.
Well, all the guards are down anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about that.
This is dumb cipher.
Oh my.
And before Seagull blocks it.
Yeah, I don't want to kill a bird, not for free. Nobody wants to see the birds. Go
I'll give
down.
you 69 cents next week.
Oh yeah, one thing we probably didn't mention yet, which is happening now, is the codec call from Snake. I know, shocker, Pliskin
Wait,
was
what?
really Snake. Yeah, I know. It seemed too good to be true, but the codec call to get Snake's help for sniping comes really late. I mean, like, you're on like the last cipher too late. On VE, it's fairly early, but on European Extreme, it comes really late into the segment where it's basically, you know, worthless. So he's emptying his PSU1T now, which is going to be part of a setup for Vamp 2 coming up, where if you have an empty weapon with the PSU1T, it's going to spawn the ammo box, so it's just going to make it easier for him to line himself up over the ammo box, in addition to just having the potassiumines used like right before this fight. It'll carry over the cutscene skip, and then he's just going to aim at his leg with Taron, and that's Vamp.
It's a cool fight. I like the fight. Not my favorite fight, but it is a cool fight. Especially with the PSG-1T. I just like the sound that it makes.
Pew, 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 and he's dead. Question mark.
All right.
And now it's a race against time to getting to the Shell 1 core elevator again. Thankfully, there's only one guard in here. I guess he kind of drew the short straw in troll duty, so thankfully it's just a easy trank. Because just like before, if there's a, you know, continue during a time section like this, he has to start it from the beginning of the time section, not just the room from once you entered where the continue happened. And just like on higher difficulties, the panels on the bridge that were lost during the first time you exited the shell remain lost, so like you just have to be mindful of which panels were missing when you left. I've lost plenty of good runs of just blindly going in and then mistiming the cartwheel and then just going right into the ocean.
It's summer now, so swimming's not a bad idea.
I don't know, not when you're on PB pace and Big Boss rank eligibility.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Wait a minute, who's that guy?
Jack the Ripper?
Who's that other guy?
Wait, didn't you kill that guy earlier?
You remember me, don't you?
I don't like where this is going.
High concentration of cerebral implants. Have they altered your memories?
You don't
Fun
need
fact,
to-
you...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you don't need to mash for this section for the torture. You cannot die. You cannot lose any health here. It's kind of like a tutorial of what's to come, I guess, but you can just sit there and do nothing and it's no danger.
Warning, there will be torture in the Metal Gear game. Who would have guessed?
Olga, you can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen, I'll free you in a little while. Brace
This
yourself.
hit royally sucks on European Extreme because it takes away a third of your health.
She wasn't holding back on her punch.
That is massive for later because there's no rations. Like, even if I wanted to use a ration, there are no rations at all on European Extreme. So what I got is what I got, and that's it.
Yeah, I think Extreme has them, but they're very limited. And you can only carry, like, so many of them. But on Euro, there are none. So he answers this codec as soon as you enter Jujinum here, which is good timing for that Tengu guard especially. And then there's another quick codec call, which he did get Once you see Raiden's lev looked up on that step. Because everything in here matters with timing, so he's just gonna follow along the wall here, go underneath the camera and back around, and he's gonna make the Dugenum jump over that gap there, which he did. Go underneath the other camera, and then just cartwheel into the Tengu, which for me scares the hell out of me, so I tend to play it really safe with just punch kicking, even though it's a couple seconds slower.
I just like going through the intestines of Arsenal gear.
Oh, I like one of the particular codecs in Arsenal gear, which is in this hallway, actually.
This is a good hallway.
Something about, I don't know, Worm from Flapjaw Space, a tuning fork, and something about Scissor 61. I don't have them. I really don't.
Apparently neither did the Colonel.
I mean, if anyone knows where Scissor 61 is, the Colonel's looking for him. I know Glenn keeps thinking I have him, but I don't. See? I told you, I'm innocent.
I don't believe you.
So the hallway after meeting up with Snake, you're given a blade, which is I think it's like 45-second tutorial of, hey, here's a blade, train how to use it, which is more or less a waiting timer. You just have to swing the weapon at least once, stay on the upper half of the hallway, don't go running past Snake. I've actually lost time doing that before, thinking I just had to wait it out and realize I was still in there. And as soon as I crossed over, it then ended.
Oops.
That's some very impressive crunching you're doing there.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I work hard on my technique every day. So, it's a sight to see. So, Tengu 1, Gip here coming up. We basically just have to run to the end of the room, try not to die, and then we're going to do a door glitch at the end of the room. So I'm going to try to focus on this.
And this room is pretty much one of the main reasons we pick up the body armor. Just getting shot in this room is just awful.
Yeah, and it's the same reason for collecting all the stuns up to this point.
Yep. The non-lethal grenades in this game are actually key. Ooh, there we go. First try.
Decent.
Very nice.
Decent.
It's all timing.
All right, this one is relatively new. The skip itself is not new, but the fact we can do it on PC is new. And this is the coolant skip.
Yay.
So what he's gonna do here is he's gonna trank Snake at the beginning to get him to fall asleep, and then it's gonna make the Tengus run to Raiden. And this is a thing that you commonly see in other versions of the game on PS2, for example, where you're just basically holding up this group of Tengus with the coolant spray because of how awesome it is, and they're just powerless against it. Normally there would be a method where you would hold up a Tengu from the first wave and just kind of keep them held up and, you know, maybe just keep them, you know, choked for a bit. So you're just prolonging this first wave for a certain amount of time. But I think on PC, what happens is when you hold these guys up for, I think it's like over, I don't know if it's like a minute 20.
Basically, from the moment the fight begins, you have to last a minute and 5 seconds bare minimum. I typically go to like a minute and 10 just to be safe. And then I do a punch kick at the end. And then it should skip the fight. And there it goes. Yep. That's it. That skips the fight. The PPK at the end makes the skip way more consistent. And that was the ticket to making this work on PC HD collection, because this used to be a Sons of Liberty exclusive glitch. Now we can do it on any version, which is so good. Shoutouts to Platana Guy for finding that, and I kind of refined it with the punch kick.
Yeah, I was about to ask if it was Platonic that started looking into that, and then if you just kind of optimized it.
The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists.
Yes, the big baddie thinks he's won and therefore spills his evil plan via monologue.
Jack. I'm sorry to see you.
Although I guess to be fair, is Solidus really a bad guy?
But I've made use of you, and their plan.
Discuss.
Solid Snake's sudden appearance.
I don't know.
Arrival. It was obvious the Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase. You came in handy. As bait.
And I guess I could
Those
safely
days
confirm
during the
that,
Civil
yeah,
War were
Choke
as
Skip
real
is
as they
dead.
come. Every day was absolute.
All right,
Split between
this is
life
my
and
favorite
death.
fight coming up. I'm going to concentrate on it, even though I really don't need to
And now
concentrate
you've
on it.
been led back to
This fight
war by
is
something
it's very
less
easy
than
for me,
real.
so let's go.
Oh boy, 25 rays, a few to go. Except we only need to kill 20 of them to get through. 20 health bars. You don't actually need to take out 20 rays, so if you get into the E's, you can split the health however you want. There is an optimal way to do this, and like just starting off, it's a little bit of a loop you could do. Let's see if we can hold it here. And it's kind of a pain because once you drop it, getting it back is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, and then he's starting it off with the risky rays, which is taking them out in a slightly different order. It's a little bit faster, but the risk being, the machine gun from one, and then a water cutter from the center ray. So what's happening now is he's kind of juggling.
Oh my gosh.
The hitbox didn't come up.
Nope. And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of those things where the game is just like, no loot for you. E-rockets. Okay.
Yeah, this is going to turn into a casual fight, so...
Yep, great. Okay, well, your loot. Can you don't.
I'll get it back. It's just going to take a while now.
Yeah, like I said, it's not the easiest thing to get back in the world, but thankfully, so far, no harm, no foul, other than time lost, but...
Yeah, because what I was about to say is, like, the rays will spawn from, like, one side of the arena that he's fighting on, and when they start to break apart and they surround, right, and then this is what I would almost call just a chaotic free-for-all where, you're not really keeping them controlled anymore and they're just kind of surrounding you. So what he's doing is, as he's dealing damage to the ray on stage, he's alternating to a ray either off to the side or one that is approaching, since they're all grouped from, one side, which is to the right there. So when one ray is coming off stage, he's trying to deal damage to another, and the way you know when the next ray is due up is the ray that has the next lowest health, so it can give you an indication of what ray you know is going to be due next, and then just plan your next stinger shots accordingly. And then he's standing above the ammo box, so you don't have to keep moving around to collect ammo, so it just minimizes your movement.
And on top of that, he's taking advantage of the physics of the stinger in this game, where you can shoot ahead and then kind of do a little hook shot by locking onto the ray as the missile's flying through the air.
Oh my god, the stinger just does not want to cooperate.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh god, that's the thing that scares me the most, is when they jump right next to
crying
you
out
and
loud.
stopping with their feet.
Yeah, it's so bad. This is so bad. Beyond bad. Get it out now.
Wow.
Get it out now.
Hey Ray, you not block the shot here.
I don't know my bearings right now. But that's why you gotta know the fight inside and out, so you know your backups and know how the fight works. You can't just focus on one strategy in case you get in a situation like this.
Always learn your backups, people.
Yes.
You can do plan A as perfectly as you want, but what about that 1 in 100 times you get it wrong when you do?
And when you're as rusty as I am, yeah, you're gonna screw this up.
Really?
The missile
That's
dodge.
every game. It's not just MGS2, it's every game. Know your backup strats. That's perfect.
Yeah, so for the damage for the rays, it's 3 critical hits plus 1 minor hit to the head. When the ray opens its mouth, that's when you can do max damage. You could do this by hitting its leg and then waiting for its mouth to open and then follow it up with a second shot. If you get really fancy with it, you could wait for the ray to kind of do its open mouth, I guess, like roar or whatever you call it, and you could still do damage on it. But most times you're doing what you're seeing here is just kind of aiming for the leg, aim for the mouth when it's open. You can still do a normal hit on the head when it's closed. It just does a little bit of damage, which at times is acceptable. And then, ooh, nice. Yeah, trying to get it across the arena like that is sometimes a little iffy because like it's easy for it to get blocked.
Yeah, the ray that you just defeated, when it's exiting the stage, it feels like it takes an eternity, and there are a lot of times, and I've seen it more often than I'd like to admit, it will just deny you doing any damage to the ray that you're actually trying to hit, and it just goes, no, I'm gonna protect my homie here.
I mean, sometimes you can take advantage of the fact that it takes them a while to get off the stage, but it's the mechanical part of it is what annoys me personally. When trying to make this across the arena shot and the ray turns at just the wrong time and blocks everything, or I hit its arm 3 times before I realize I'm not getting anything.
Times like that where you're aiming at the ray behind the ray on stage and you get blocked by the leg.
Or even this one where...
And then none of the shots land because, you know...
Yeah, there's a weird thing with the lock-on at max distance where it wants to hit it, but if you aim it like just off to the set, like the target box a little early, and then you fire it, it'll either detonate early or maybe it'll try to hit it, but then... Ooh, that was a nice open headshot there.
Yep.
Yeah, see, yeah, that right there is what happens to me a lot, is where I'll...
That's happened quite a bit in this fight, and it's just like... Why?
Well, thankfully this terrible display of rays is almost over.
Get it out of your system now for you.
Yep.
Yeah, it's usually when you start seeing Ray E1, E2 is where you're starting to near the end of it. And like Glenn said, it's not about like the unit count of Rays you destroy, it's the damage distribution of taking out 20 of them, even if it's spread across 2 or 3 Rays at the end, which should be coming up like another hit or so.
It needs one major and one minor.
Yeah. Yeah, this might end it. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe one little one. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
that's...
awake yet, Jack?
Yeah.
I honestly think that's been your least ideal boss fight, albeit you haven't died to one, so...
No, the 2 continues were just silly. Well, one I blame the tech for being distracted, and then the one was just something I've never seen before. I mean, this is a decent run otherwise, and this is why I have the estimate that I have. My estimate's 118. Like, I could realistically run at like 110, 111, like if I play pretty well, but you never know what's going to happen in a category like this.
Yeah, and in the middle of a marathon, no less.
Right. So this is the primary reason why we have turbo, is we do not want to screw up our wrists and injure ourselves by mashing unnecessarily for 50 seconds at a rate of at least 8 to 9 presses a second. I can do it. I can do it without turbo. It sucks, but I can do it without turbo. And as I get older and older, I would like to preserve my wrists. So this is why this exists, and I'm grateful for it.
Same.
This is why we do community voting.
Isn't PS2 torture like over a minute?
What do you hope to hear?
It is
65?
1 minute on
Yeah.
1 minute
Yeah.
on PAL
The answers from.
because of the frame rate.
Yeah, so all the more reason to, well, I guess unfortunately in PS2, you have to kind of suffer through it, but on this one you have the option.
Alright, so we're coming up to the final boss fight, which is Solidus. We're going to be doing a punch loop by swiping at him twice and then doing 3 punches on his other side, basically doing that 30 times throughout the fight, all without trying to die. Dying is not recommended.
I heard
Yeah,
it's
even
bad
at
for your health.
yeah, even at full HP, you know, you can still insta die with or without the body armor. It's so what he's doing is, like he said, he has the eye patch over his left eye from during the Harrier fight, so it's a blind spot where you can punch him, and then on his other eye, he can see the attack, which we want him to block. So then we trigger him to do a mechanic or a counterattack mechanic where he either tries to blade or often just do like a forward kick. And we do this knowing that we attack his good side on his right, followed by a 2 to 3 punch on his left eye. And the reason why he spaces out the 3 punches, like you see, is we don't want to exceed his 3 hitbox cooldown, which will knock him over. So that's why you'll see like a 1-2 pause and then another punch. Also very nice transition to phase 2. If you go on the other side of the roof, it'll shorten his pathing for zipping going into it. All right, people's elbow. Oh. Yeah, if you get the what Glenn calls the people's elbow, he'll do like this really long extended elbow that makes him open to attack.
And it's a faster animation.
Yeah. See, this is what I hate about the Solidus fight myself, is fighting the camera.
Yeah, this is the worst part of the fight by far, is all the stupid camera angles you got to deal with. That in itself is just a mini boss.
Yeah, so if you're really daring on the Solidus fight during the transition to phase 2, you can do what's called the parry, which you can swipe your blade as Solidus is charging at you at the right time.
What's this camera angle? Oh my god.
I know,
that
man. It's
just a pain in the butt.
Wow, man. 3 sword combos in a row, man. Come on, give us a break. All right, so I think he's like 4 hits away. Oh,
And that's
there we go.
time.
Solidus is dead.
Crab emoji.
It was a decent run, but yeah, the raise was annoying, and then otherwise I can't really complain a whole lot. It was decent. I'll give it a solid decent.
Today
TM.
is the day I met you.
But yeah, that is GOID,
That's
European
it.
Extreme, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance on PC. But yeah, it was fun showing that off, and hopefully I can have a little bit better of a run next Saturday morning at, I think it's around almost 9 a.m. Eastern now, which, come on, keep pushing it back. I don't want to get up super early for this run.
I
But
mean, I'm gonna be the only one wide awake for your run.
I hope Joe is, because he's on the couch too. These two fellas and Apache via remote are going to be on my couch, so it should be a very fun time. But just a quick shout out to the Metal Gear Speedrunners community and whatnot. I've been a part of this for 4 years, and it's just awesome to see the generosity and everybody trying to help each other out, like with me trying to get to GDQ, trying to get some money to pay for the hotel and whatnot. It's just awesome to see you guys rally together and help me out. I really do appreciate it. I've seen us help so many people over the years with it, and now to be the recipient of it is it's a blessing, and I'm thankful for it. So a big thanks to you guys, but we're not done. We're not done. We got an interview coming up with Nick here, and then I think I'm doing some boss survival, I think. So should be fun.
Yes, you are. It was a fantastic run by a fantastic runner. Close to my heart, MGS2. But yeah, we've got an interview coming up, and then Limes will be back doing his boss survival run. So stick around and go to a short break here.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We got our final interview with D-Limes13, who's just finished his Metal Gear Solid 2 run. First, of course, let's talk about the run. See a few tech issues in the middle of it, but for the most part, it looked pretty good. What did you think went well? What did you think went badly?
Most of it went well. Yeah, the two continues. One was just something I never seen before with that weird distraction shot. Then the dude went a different way, which okay, aim lower is the fix for that. Then the other one was just during the tech issues. Probably I was just rattled by it, so that's whatever. But the run was pretty good aside from the Ray fight, which is usually my home and my bread and butter. I was pretty disappointed at that, but at least I didn't die, so it's fine.
God, that fight goes on
I
for
can't complain.
so long on Extreme.
It does. Like, it should be, if you get the loop right, it's about a 4-minute fight, but it turned into like an 8-minute fight because of just all the issues I had at the start. So, is what it is.
Well, it is a busy year for you. 2 GDQs back to back. And as already was alluded to during the run, in the middle of that, you got married as well. So can we give Limes a huge congratulations for getting married? But how's married life going, and what else have you got in store for 2022?
Well, I'm going to Kings Island, an amusement park, tomorrow for the weekend, and then of course I'm going to GDQ next week. But married life is really no different because me and Allie, my wife, we've been together for 10 years. Like, we just made it official essentially. So it really doesn't change much except just the legalities of it. But it's awesome, and the whole wedding was an awesome experience and whatnot. And all my friends there and a lot of people from MGSR and speedrunning. It was awesome. But after GDQ, I'm resting. I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting around, and then when August comes around, I'm sitting and watching football, and then I'm done. No more.
Oh, fantastic. All right, let's go back to MGS2 then. And I was having a look through speedrun.com, and I can't help but notice, of course, that you have the full run leaderboard sweep for Sons of Liberty, Substance on both PC and console, and the HD edition, all except for PC very easy after Platonic Guy got the world's first 1 hour and 0 minutes last month. So the big question is, when are you rising to the challenge and taking that sweep back from him?
When there's a new skip. Like, I mean, I think, like, I always say this, that Platonic can have any record he wants. I think he is a better player than I am because that's all he plays. He just plays MGS2. He literally plays nothing else. It's ridiculous. And how talented he is and what he's brought to the table for this community, where as far as wiki stuff, guides, funny things, and then his actual raw talent in full game and mostly VR is what he's known for. I think he's the best player. So based on that, I don't see myself getting it back. I think
Wow.
it's gone.
Wow. That
So
is
I may give it a whirl, but as of right now, I don't have the will or desire to do that. He can have it.
Oh, that's some high praise for Platonic coming from such a seasoned veteran such as yourself. He should be very pleased with that. All right. One last question for me before we go to the chat for their questions. So just a reminder to chat, if you want to use the channel reward point to ask a question, we'll do like a quick fire round of questions at the end. But for me, this is your second GDQ in a row. You did MGS1 in January, and now, of course, you got MGS2 in July. To the runners out there who are looking at submitting to AGDQ 2023 or SGDQ 2023, what advice would you give to them?
Well, I mean, you got to be decent at your game. You got to be higher up on the leaderboard. You don't necessarily have to have record or whatever. Have a great description in your when you submit. Have stuff that's going to be eye-catching or never before seen, or just make your description. That's probably arguably the most important part, in my opinion, because they can't go through and watch all the
Oh,
runs
of course
in
not.
their
No.
entirety. They can't. They might skim through your run for a minute or two and catch a few words, but it's going to be your description. And then, of course, what game and category. Like, they typically typically go for the harder stuff, but as say like Joe proved, they went for easy on
Yeah, that's true.
MSX. So I would love to see MGS2 VE in here one day, but I don't see that. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, just be confident in your run, have a good description, and then just like I say, just shoot your shot, hope for the best. Submit 20 categories. Maybe maybe they like the game, but they don't like your estimate or like the time. So if you have like a weird run that's like a shorter estimate, submit that, like, or a side op or something. Like, shoot your shot is always what I say. Just shoot your shot. If they give you 20 slots, fill out 20 slots. Like, if you can do it, try it.
That's some pretty sound advice. Awesome. All right, let's go to. We've got 10 questions for you from the chat, so we're
Wow,
gonna,
okay.
as I say, gonna try and whiz through them quite quickly. All right,
Okay.
from Modvex, smash or pass MGS1/2?
What do you mean smash or pass? What?
That's the question. Smash or pass?
What the hell does that even mean? I don't know what that means. I am not hip with the lingo, bro. Like, come on. I'm a 30-year-old married man. I don't know this stuff. Like, clarify it later. Just pass for
All
now.
right. From Apache, name one song I played in your car anytime during the 3 weeks I was in America.
I liked the music he played, but everybody knows I'm not a music person, so I can't name anything. So no.
All right. Mockingjay, explain the ride Millennium Force in detail.
Speed. It's just speed. Like, you're going 93 miles an hour. You go up 300 feet at a like 80-degree angle to start with, and it overviews Lake Erie, which is just beautiful. But it's speed and a relaxing ride the entire way. People are screaming out the top of their lungs, but I'll ride that thing 50 times in a row, which I have, and I'll fall asleep on it because it's just relaxing.
Oh, all right. I have another question from Mockingjay. I'm going to not try and influence your answer by asking the question in a slightly different way. How do you say the 8th letter of the alphabet, the one that comes between G and I?
H, not H, as some people say. H, like the number 8.
I have to agree. I have to agree with you. H. There you go. That's that settled. Solid Tony, out of the games you run, what is your favorite boss fight?
It'd be the Ray fight I screwed up. Typically. I do really like the Rex fight in MGS1, even though that is significantly shorter. But it's the Ray fight when you nail the loop. There's nothing like it.
Good. A question from Jay. What was your first ever full game world record, and how have you improved on that since?
Well, I'll give you a double answer because my first full game record was an uncontested speedrun in Twin Snakes, very easy on emulator. Nobody ran it, so I got record by default. The actual record that I took and worked on was MGS2 very easy PC.
Huh.
And I've obviously put a lot of work into it the last 3 years, and Platonic currently holds it, but that was my first like major record was V.
Awesome. All right, 4 more questions to go. Mockingjay snuck in a third sneaker one at the end as well. But this one's from Lightning. What is your favorite gameplay mechanic in Metal Gear Solid?
Wow. Gameplay mechanic.
Quite a broad question.
Quick throw, MGS1.
Quick answer. House Test, excited to be in GDQ again now with MGS2. How about MGS3 next year for AGDQ 2023?
So I was talking about this to some people and whatnot. Like, I'm not like I've played 3, but I haven't played it much. I've done some speed runs. I would market it to GDQ as okay, never before seen in a GDQ, and then just submit some stupid difficulty like hard. Like and try to go for the trifecta. Like I'm highly considering doing that, but I wouldn't do Euro. I definitely would not do Euro.
Fair enough. Jameson runs. Will the runner show his clackers this stream?
For $500. Like, even though this isn't my channel, this applies to here. $500, like $500, I will show them.
You heard the man. Get your $500 out, and the clackers come out. All right, you haven't got long as well, because we've got our last question again. Third question from Mockingjay: is there anything that makes you more nervous than normal in this particular run?
Like something that just makes me more nervous than usual. In this run, I guess just the fact I'm on GOID. Like if you get spotted normally, okay, you have time to correct it or take a guard out or do whatever. You're on GOID, it's over. You have to be careful. And it's just stressful, super stressful. Like if this wasn't a GOID run, I was doing a GDQ. I wouldn't even need to practice. Like I seriously wouldn't need to practice, but because it's GOID, I do, and it's scary because I just don't run it at all.
Cool. There you go, guys. If you want to stay less nervous, don't run GOID, but do run GOID because it's a really interesting category. Well, thank you very much,
weird.
Limes.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure talking to you. For just a reminder to everyone, Limes is running on Saturday, the 2nd of July, 8:34 a.m. EDT. That's an early start for you.
Push it back. Come on, get to like 11 a.m. or something.
Desperately hoping everything else overruns. With that, we're going to go back to a quick intermission, and I believe you've got a Raiden easy boss survival to do. Good luck.
It's the easier one, which is nice. So that'll be nice and quick.
Excellent. All right, we'll see you all in a few minutes.
Welcome back, everybody. We got the final run for tonight, the bonus. The MGS2 boss survival easy as Raiden. Take it away.
All right. Thankfully, it's not the stupid one where it's Snake. So Raiden's pretty simple. You go through easy. We fight all the boss fights, except for Vamp 2 and the second Tengu fight, and no Fortune either, because that's not really a boss fight. So let's just jump through it and try to get this done, and hopefully under 3 minutes IGT.
All right, so if anyone's familiar with All Gone Very Easy, we want the right side as we got. And get a couple headshots here. And I think there's an optimal strategy where you take the first shot, hit her in the leg, and then immediately go first person and shoot her in the head, but that's hard.
I was about to say, riding on the tanker is already like a paradox, just watching it happen.
It's a VR mission.
And it's also funny how they use the Olga battle music with the guard rush
The
there.
guard rush instead of the tanker incident. All right, Fat Man, we're gonna kind of do the opposite of what we did in the Euro fight. Go up top first and lethal him to death. Because he's going to take quite a bit of damage through the blast suit with the USP, with the SOCOM, and boom, done. Harrier's pretty much the same. He's just going to take less missiles. 3, 4.
Should be
5.
5. Yep, there's
Boom.
5. Yeah, so he's going to do a follow-up by using that cutscene prompt where Raiden's like...
Wow, it missed. That's stupid.
Oh, yeah, so he's going to do the die shots like he did in the full run from before, but...
He'll let us
did
go
the
out
other
in
one miss?
style.
Yeah, my +1 missed for some reason.
Oh.
I'll let you go out in style.
I don't know why that's my favorite Solidus line, but I enjoy going out in
it's
style.
iconic.
Boom, 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 boom. Vamp doesn't count.
Vamp is dead.
Crab emoji. Tengu fight. Now we actually have to.
That's the scope.
I went to you actually have to commit murder, and this is why in the Harrier fight he went back and grabbed the AK bullets, because there's nothing else in the game but this room. So you actually have to beat the Tengus, and Snake isn't here to help you out, so you just gotta do it. Which thankfully this is on easy, so it's not that big of a deal, and we also have the M4. So got a couple of options here for full auto. Not that it makes that much of a difference, because we have turbo. You win! Alright, Ray! See if Limes can redeem himself here a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, thankfully it's not nearly as stressful as the
And it's
European
over.
Extreme Race, because there's only 3 of them.
It's over so fast we don't get to explain it.
Yep. And then on this one, he's not going to do the, the block buffer with the mix of punching. He's just going to use the lethal side of the blade and then just move out of halfway over so he can bait out the missiles. And that was a really long step. Yeah, that's unlucky.
That's kind of what I was getting to before, is sometimes you can be all the way across the other side of the building, and Solidus just like, no, I'm going to stand in front of you and follow you all the way across Federal Hall.
See,
Anywho,
People's Elbow?
Nope.
No!
He does not want to channel his inner The Rock. See if he'll do it this time.
Let's go.
Yay!
Yes.
And
it's over.
This is dead. Yep.
Decent enough, I guess. It's not too bad.
Don't forget to put that clear code into konamijpn.com/mgs2/boss/_sub.
Yeah, don't forget the underscore. Very, very important. So, all right. Well, that was boss survival. Thank you for not making me do a hard. So that's nice. So, but yeah, that's it for everything.
Yeah, thank you for that. Very good. Fast, easy.
Yeah, thanks for having us along, D-Limes.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate the generosity and the viewership, and I hope everybody had fun.
Good. Final thoughts from your Joe or Glenn?
Well, I was just gonna say kind of what I said before from when I ran MSX earlier today is, it was one of the games I didn't expect to get in, but I was proud that I put it forward to get into SGDQ, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity and really happy to be part of this community that's just, uplifted me over the, 3 to 4 years I've been a part of. And, I can't thank, Sergeant Silent enough for helping me learn the game in pretty quick time, and, just pushing myself to get better to the point where I felt confident to put the game forward for a submission. And I can't wait to be there next Thursday.
Yeah, fantastic.
I just want to say one thing about Joe real
Yeah.
quick, because I know he's been gunning for 3 years to try to get into this event, and he's already spoke on this, but me, and I'm sure many others are very, very proud of him for finally getting this chance. And I hope you can capture the magic that I got and get a big influx post GDQ and get that partner. We will be rooting for you and we will do whatever we can to try to make that happen.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. That does mean a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, we will definitely be rooting Joe on. Yeah, that's it from us. All of us here at MGSR. Final shout out. We do have a 35th anniversary event coming up on MGSR. It's between July 15th and July 17th. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up pretty soon. Won't be long. And yeah, I think that's it. We're going to hand you over to send you off to another fantastic runner of MGS2. And yeah, that's it from us. Catch you later.